Welcome to Hustle and Faith. I'm your host, LaTosha Johnson. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 10 items that I believe everyone's home office should have. As someone who's been working from home for a good portion of my career, long before the pandemic, these are some of the items that I have come to love and enjoy, and I truly believe that you will as well. Just a quick background of why I wanted to do this episode. It's because I know a lot more folks are starting to work from home. And again, I've always been blessed with the ability to work from home for a significant portion of my career. And in the event that you're looking to start 2024 with a brand new home office and you're trying to figure out what should I fill my home office with, I want to help you out with that. So number one, I want you to get an L-shaped desk. This is a game changer. I used to have like a regular desk, and again, not saying that I've arrived by any means, but quite frankly, I do feel like I have because I have an L-shaped desk. And the reason why I'm suggesting you to have an L-shaped desk, and I'm going to include some photos of this as well, is because the L-shaped desk really allows you the flexibility to have 3 screens. And I know some people may be like, that is overkill, but it is not, okay? I love having 3 screens to work from. So the reason I have 3 screens is because I have a larger monitor in the middle, because this girl does not have 20/20 vision. And I am not trying to struggle looking at my, both of my laptops. I've got a MacBook Pro and I've got my regular work laptop. So both of these laptops are hooked up to my monitor. So in the event that I wanted to switch back and forth, once I'm done with work, I work on my personal projects, I don't have to disconnect from either of my laptops just to use my monitor. So that's one of the reasons why I am a huge fan of the L-shaped desk, because where the middle is, that's where you would put your monitor. And again, be sure to check out, I'm going to have a picture of that right here, but I want to make sure that you see that. And also, guys, before I forget, in the description is a timestamp for this video if you want to go directly to the items that you believe would be best beneficial for you. And if you also click on one of the links, I'll have links for each one of these items as well. And I think you're going to enjoy them too. All right. Number 2, and I'm looking at my list because I don't want to forget anything. You're going to need a back chair cushion. Okay. I don't care what office chair you get. I've had several, and maybe I just had some bad luck, but I desperately need a back chair cushion. Okay. As you get older, I don't know, the back just is not cooperating the way it used to. Okay. So I want to make sure that I am doing my best to maintain my posture, because I work at the computer I spend a significant chunk of my day at the computer. And so I make sure that I get up, take different breaks. Again, I use something called the Pomodoro method. I've talked about that in a previous video that I'll link to. But I make sure that I take breaks throughout the day. And it's something that's very important to me. But again, I spend a significant portion of my day at the computer. And so you're going to eventually develop some sort of back pain. I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to jinx anyone, but it's a part of life. And so if you want to minimize that, using a back chair cushion is super helpful. And I'm actually using one right now. I use it all the time. And it's something that I think you are going to love as well. Another thing, number 3, is a monitor stand riser. So especially if you are doing a lot of virtual Zoom calls or virtual team calls, whatever, virtual calls in general, you're going to want to make sure that you look somewhat decent at the camera, right? So you want to make sure that you don't look crazy, like you're slouched down or anything like that. So having the laptop riser does a really good job of enabling you to make videos that help you be more at eye level, but it also it's got a dual function. It enables you to have your desk make the most of your storage space. So I can store my phone, my tablet, my pens, pencils, all that good stuff can sit right there as well within the riser. So that's something I want to help you guys out with. Number 4, you need to have a good webcam. I'm sorry, y'all. It's if we are spending a good chunk of our day doing virtual calls, there really is no reason for us to be looking all grainy, looking like we're, trying to hide ourselves or whatever. You want to make sure that you've got a decent webcam so you don't look all grainy. And I hate to say this, but most of the webcams that come with the computers, whether it be a Mac or, whether it be a Mac or a PC, the cameras just are not that good. So you're going to, especially if you're doing a lot of virtual calls, and if you're creating videos such as the one that I'm doing, you want to make sure that you've got a really good webcam. Now, quite frankly, as I progress in my YouTube journey, I want to start making more videos with a camera. I've got my eye on this one Sony camera that I really want to get, but it's kind of an arm and a leg. So until I get to that point where I can just go ahead and purchase that, I want to make sure that I'm doing my best to stay within my budget. And so this webcam that I'm using is Logitech Brio. Does a fantastic job of making sure that I look decent on camera. So I want that for you as well. Number 5, a laptop cooling stand. And so I want to show you guys what this looks like. So you see this right here? I put this underneath my laptop because sometimes you get that your laptop starts to overheat and you're trying to figure out what in the world is going on. And that's super annoying if you're in the middle of trying to make a video, or if you're on a very important call and you hear that fan whirring in the background. That's because your laptop is overheating. And many times it's doing that because it needs like some air to come underneath, right? So if you put something like this underneath your laptop, again, it just put it right underneath, and it's magnetic, right? So you just put it right underneath the laptop. I guarantee you're not going to hear that. It's not going to overheat. You're not going to hear that sound. I've had these for a while now, and these work great. Okay. And let's move on to our next item. I've got my little list here. Logitech speakers. So these speakers work great. If you're like me, I need to listen to some podcasts, some music playing in the background as I work because, well, that's just how I roll. So I love these Logitech speakers. These little guys are so amazing when it comes to the sound. So unfortunately, a lot of times, and especially with the MacBook Pro, I can't remember the one that I have, but I think it's the MacBook Pro, like M2 or something. I don't know what it is. I'll let you know in this show note description. But the speakers on this thing are super weak, and it was driving me insane because, I want to make sure that I'm listening to my music. I like the bass and all that stuff. Not crazy about it, but again, the speakers that I had, it just wasn't working for me. So I bought these Logitech speakers, and they work fantastic. So they work with a PC or a Mac. So I want to share that with you as well. And then, guys, one of my pet peeves is when we're having these, if you're forced to be on these virtual calls or you're making a video, let's work on the lighting. I'm not saying that you have to have a production quality studio here, a full-fledged studio. I know we're not all like Steven Spielberg or Spike Lee here, you know what I'm saying? But we do have the ability to have some decent lighting, right? Like there's nothing worse than me when I'm trying to talk to somebody and it's like, it looks like they're a part of the witness protection program. Like the lighting is like horrible and I can't really see the person. Not a big, to each its own, but that's kind of a pet peeve of mine if I really want to talk to the person, get to know the person and whatever. So I want to make sure that, especially when I'm creating videos as well, that my lighting is on point. Okay. So one of the ways that you could go about doing that is having ring lights. Ring lights are a game changer. Even if I wanted to turn the lights off, because I also have like lights in the background behind the ring lights. If I wanted to turn those lights off, I could still have a decent call with someone without having to, be at risk for them not being in a position to see me. So ring lights over the laptop, game changer. And it doesn't cost that much. So I want you to be sure that you get a set of those. Okay. Now, another thing you need, desktop lamp. Because I don't know about you, but the way that my office is set up, unfortunately, this corner is a little bit dark. So even if I turn on my overhead light and I've got my desktop lamp, because that enables me to see a little bit more. Again, your girl is not working with 20/20 vision. So I need as much light as I can get, and I have it kind of like spread over the monitor. All right, guys. So those are all the items that I enjoy having in my home office at my desk area. So I should probably preface this. I've got 2 home office areas. So I've got one with my desk setup, which I just discussed all the things that I love having at my desk. My second home office setup is on my bed. And the reason why I have this as my second office setup, if you will, is because I live on the lakefront and my view from my bed is actually looking out at the lake. And so if I don't need my second screen, if I'm just journaling or I'm typing up something that doesn't require me to use a second screen, I thoroughly enjoy working from my bed. The view is just beautiful and no complaints. So sometimes I like working from my bed. Now, you guys are going to laugh. This may seem like overkill for some folks, but if you are in a similar setup and you're closer to the window and you've got your bed set up next to the window, you might want to think about this, okay? So I've got a laptop desk, which enables me to do a lot of my typing and whatnot right there. Then I have another mini laptop desk that I use as kind of like my mini TV stand, if you will. So if you're looking at the picture, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So I've got my pillow pad tablet, which I put my tablet on top of the pillow pad. And it's like I've got my little mini TV set up. So sometimes I'll be listening to a podcast or watching a show while I'm working on the bed. Okay. And then I have what's referred to as a Booklight. So I love reading from the bed too. So a lot of times if I'm working from my bed, I don't necessarily have the overhead lights on. Again, I get a lot of natural light because I just do. I've got a huge window, so I'm able to look out and it's a lot of natural light. But sometimes when I'm looking at the laptop, I could use a little bit more light. So I've got a book light that I use for my lighting when I'm on the bed. And then last but not least, and I know you guys are probably like, oh my goodness, I have an electric blanket. I love to stay warm, especially during the winter time. Okay. Winters in Chicago, not fun. And my electric blanket is something that I just could not live without. So especially if I've already made my bed and I like to sit on top of it, I don't want to obviously unmake the bed. I have a little blanket that I put on top. And so it just keeps me warm while I'm working. And, you know, I've got the beautiful view. I'm being productive. That's what it's all about. One of the main reasons why I love working from home is because I really, there's an increase in my productivity that is just ridiculous. You don't have people coming by your desk asking you questions every 5 minutes. You don't have like the awkward water cooler type of conversations. You can just focus on doing your job. And then that's it. You're already home. So that's one of the main reasons why I love working from home, because when I was in the office, I'm like, oh my goodness, get me through the day so I can go home. But now I'm already at home. I love being able to have that balance, being comfortable and being productive. So I'm curious, Which of these items will you be adding to your home office decor? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this video to be helpful, be sure to share it with your friends. And remember, if you're everything to everyone, you risk being no one. You never know who you will inspire. See you in the next episode.